In this video, you're about to witness the moment the symbol of hope finally breaks. The instant Superman stops holding back, stops apologizing, and stops saving the world the way everyone expects him to, as one tragic event triggers a chain reaction that turns the DC universe upside down, forcing heroes, villains, gods, and entire worlds to confront a terrifying question they never wanted answered. What actually happens when the strongest hero alive decides the rules no longer matter, leading to an unstoppable rampage filled with emotional loss, shocking power upgrades, dark humor, moral collapse, and a version of Superman that no force in existence is prepared to face, all unfolding in a full cinematic breakdown you will not want to miss until the very end. The story begins with a fragile sense of peace across the DC universe, the kind of calm that only exists because Superman is watching over everything from high above the clouds, quietly listening to the heartbeat of the planet, solving disasters before they happen, and carrying the impossible weight of being the ultimate symbol of hope while pretending that the pressure never affects him, even though every second of restraint chips away at the thin line separating patience from absolute devastation. For years, Superman has played the role perfectly, pulling punches, choosing mercy, trusting systems that repeatedly fail, and believing that no matter how broken the world becomes, it can always be guided back into the light through compassion, restraint, and moral perfection. But what nobody ever acknowledges is that this ideal is held together by a single thread, and once that thread snaps, the consequences are catastrophic. That moment arrives in the form of a tragedy so sudden and so cruel that it rewires Superman's understanding of justice itself. An event that cannot be undone, forgiven, or rationalized, leaving behind a void that even a godlike being cannot simply fly away from. And as the shock settles in, the world notices something deeply unsettling, because Superman does not respond with grief or sorrow, but with silence. Days pass without the familiar blur of red and blue streaking across the sky, and crime begins to spike, disasters unfold unchecked, and whispers spread among heroes and villains alike that something is wrong, not because Superman is gone, but because he is still there, watching, calculating, and no longer intervening unless he chooses to. When Superman finally reappears, the change is immediate and terrifying. His presence heavier, his restraint gone, his movements deliberate and absolute, and the first time he intervenes, it is not to save, but to end a threat permanently, sending shockwaves through the Justice League and beyond as they realize the unthinkable has happened. Superman has crossed a line that was never supposed to exist. At first, some celebrate, believing this new approach will finally bring order to a chaotic world. Because crime vanishes overnight, warlords disappear, and corrupt regimes collapse in hours rather than years. But beneath the surface, fear spreads faster than hope ever did, because everyone understands the same truth. If Superman decides what is right, there is no appeal, no resistance, and no escape. Batman becomes the first to act, already 5 steps ahead. Having planned for this exact scenario despite praying it would never happen, deploying contingencies, alliances, and fail-safes designed to stop a rogue Kryptonian. Yet each attempt fails with embarrassing efficiency as Superman dismantles strategies before they even begin, exposing the terrifying reality that Batman prepared for a monster, not a god who knows him better than he knows himself. The Justice League fractures under the pressure, with some members trying to reason, others preparing for war, and a few quietly stepping aside, realizing that opposing Superman directly is equivalent to signing their own cosmic death warrant. And as tensions rise, Superman makes his intentions clear through actions alone, reshaping governments, enforcing peace through fear, and redefining justice as absolute obedience to his vision. Dark humor creeps into the chaos as villains who once terrorized cities suddenly beg for mercy. Cosmic threats reroute entire invasions to avoid Earth, and alien empires label the planet a restricted war zone, because the idea of attracting Superman's attention becomes the ultimate deterrent in the universe. A terrifying punchline written in planetary-scale destruction. But what truly makes this version of Superman unstoppable is not his raw power but his clarity, because he is no longer conflicted, no longer doubting himself, and no longer bound by ideals that required him to suffer endlessly for a world that refused to learn. And with that clarity comes power increases, never before witnessed, strength multiplied by purpose, speed sharpened by conviction, and perception so refined that even time itself struggles to keep up. As resistance builds, a final coalition forms, uniting heroes, anti-heroes, magic users, and cosmic entities in a desperate attempt to restore balance. Yet every confrontation ends the same way, with Superman standing alone amidst shattered strategies and broken hope, not enraged, not cruel, but resolute, convinced that this path is the only one that prevents infinite suffering. The emotional core of the story emerges as Superman stands atop the world he has forcibly saved, realizing too late that peace achieved through fear feels hollow, and that by abandoning hope, he has become the very force he once protected humanity from, a living paradox of salvation and tyranny wrapped in a familiar symbol that no longer inspires comfort. The final moments do not end in victory or defeat, but in haunting ambiguity, as Superman retreats into the sky, watching a silent planet below, unsure whether he has saved the universe or condemned it, leaving behind a DC universe permanently altered, forever aware that the greatest threat it will ever face was never an alien invasion or cosmic god, but the day Superman decided he was done holding back. If you enjoyed this full story breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this video so the Nerd Multiverse can keep bringing you epic, emotional, and unforgettable superhero stories.